Hey, this is Tom, and in this video, I want to do two things. Number one, I want to share with you news about a new client, very impressive, that's being added to the impressive clientele list of Palantir. However, I also want to explain why, based on my calculations, based on my analysis, Palantir will break through the $50 mark by the end of this year. I said it, this year. So you definitely want to stick around for that. However, since I don't hold you hostage, I don't try to just keep you on the video just for you to find out which is the new client or who is the new client. I don't play these games. The client is BMW. You can go and find it on Reddit. A lot of important information. I think it's another impressive sign of how good their product is. BMW, another client. If that's all you're here for, you're free to go. I respect your time. However, if you have a few minutes to listen to my analysis about Palantir and why I think they're about to have a breakout second half of 2021, check this out. So if you notice, a few days ago, CNBC had their little draft. You know, when they draft stocks, it's kind of entertainment more than actual analysis. However, Kevin O'Leary, the former Shark Tank guy, was on there and actually picked Palantir as one of his two picks. Now, check this out.
What's more valuable than gold or silver or plastics or any commodity? Data. That's what's valuable. And what's data? Palantir. This stock has been taken out behind the woodshed and beaten like a baby seal. It's just terrible what's happened to it. And the way I look at it is, it's my coil. It's the spring. It's something that's going to push me back up when people realize how important it is to mine data. Yeah, I love Bitcoin, but I love data too. You want to talk about mining something that's sustainable? It's data. Palantir.
And there you see Palantir basically flat for the year. So this has that coiled spring attribute that Jim commented on at the top of the show, Kevin.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, this is a risky pick because when you miss big and you get crushed. The stock's been cut in half. But at the same time, does the investment premise go away? No. People need to mine data. And social media and everything we do direct to consumer, what's that about? Data.
While Kevin O'Leary is mainly an entertainer, I wouldn't go taking investment advice from this man. However, he gets a lot of things right. And in this case, I believe he might be onto something. So the thing he said about Palantir is that it's like a coiled spring, basically waiting to be released. And once it releases, it's going to go stratospheric, much like it happened with Tesla. When Tesla was trading sideways, eventually broke out, and you know the rest. As I always preach in my videos, the three businesses that are going to dominate the next decade are artificial intelligence, energy, and data. The only company I can think of that dominates all three at the same time is Tesla. And you can see where it's at right now. It's absolutely ballistic. However, the second best company based on this analysis is probably Palantir, because how dominant and impressive they are in data and AI. They're literally dominating that market without any sort of competition. It's not even a close call. Now, having said that, that's not really empirical. That's not really scientific. Let me show you some numbers why I think they actually will break through the $50 mark. So first of all, we have to talk about the spring coil effect. Over the course of the last 4 months, the short interest on the stock went from almost 10% to 4%. So we lost 60% of the shorts over the course of the last 90 to 120 days. That's a lot. That means that all of these people who were actively betting big money against Palantir decided it's no longer a good idea. In fact, I'm convinced, I'm positive that a lot of them are actually long now on Palantir. That suggests that there's a huge sea change in the short community, essentially converting into this Palantir movement because they're seeing it's probably not a good idea anymore. They're becoming evangelists instead of being enemies. Now, that is a huge contributor to this whole spring coil effect because it essentially means that it's starting to get loose. It's starting to get loose. Now, that's not enough on its own. We have to have another one or maybe two factors, which in this case, I think we do. The second thing is, if you take a look at the trading pattern, for the past 3 months, the stock has been completely sideways. 23, 22, 24, 22, 25, 21. It's been sideways as much as Tesla have been. I mean, before the massive breakout, the patterns are really, really similar. When a stock trades sideways for so long, with so much good news coming in about new contracts and new money, and essentially we got earnings day, usually that means either the stock is going to go ballistic or it's going to go down. It means essentially that the news have not been priced in, the news have not been baked in into the share price. And in the case of Palantir, we had so much great news. It almost seems that every time we had a piece of good news, the price of the share actually went down. And in this case, I think that coiled spring effect is going to be even stronger because of how much good news we have that's still not yet priced in here. It's going to be wild. Now let's talk about the third factor, which is the lack of ability of the public to understand how much growth this company actually will have because they're underselling themselves. And here's a little bonus tip if you stayed this far. Right now, Palantir is mainly driven by the government project, which means about 60% of its revenue comes from the government. Only 40% coming from commercial. That is with zero, literally zero marketing and sales people that are pushing the commercial product. Now, the commercial product is much more scalable. It has way more margins because there's less consultancy there and much more scalability. Look at Skywise with Airbus. So once Palantir actually starts pushing this actively with salespeople and marketing, imagine the flip of it. Once we hit 2024, I'm telling you, we'll see about 80% of revenue going from commercial and only 20% from government. When that happens, and if it happens, I think that's where you know Palantir made it. But by that time, it's going to be too late to invest because the share price is going to be way higher than it is right now. But again, just my theory. You have to do your own calculations based on what I just told you. Now, check this out. Just as of the end of 2020, the company has almost $3 billion in contracts secured. That's not even considering the first half of 2021, not even considering the growth over the next 3 to 4 years. I think that the company will easily meet the 1.5 billion that they have for this year. They're going to crush next year. And I think saying 4 billion in 2025 is going to be pretty much a joke because I think they might do 6 to 7, maybe even 8 billion by 2025. And that thing will actually trickle down into the investor's mind. And when it actually hits, it's going to go ballistic. Again, just my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion, might be inaccurate, might be wrong, might be the ramblings of a madman. Who knows? You got to do your own research. Find out for yourself. I appreciate you spending these few minutes with me. Shout out to our channel members and our Patreons for making this happen. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next video.